your attention span is fucked. But guess what? I can't fix it for you, but I can try to keep you entertained long enough to help you try to fix it yourself, because guess what? I'm not getting paid for this. So, this is just advice. You can either take it, you can not take it. I don't give a fuck. You can doom scroll all day long if that's what makes you happy. But I think we all know that cheap dopamine is getting, like, really fucking old. Really fucking fast. Ignoring the fact that I have disappeared for months off of this app, I'm here to talk about dopamine detoxes and really cheap dopamine that we are all currently very, very addicted to. Thank you, internet, I guess. People literally waste like entire days just scrolling because, I mean, it's an endless feed made exactly for you. Brain like needs stimulation, but how much? Like, how much stimulation does your brain really need? And the reason that when you're scrolling for hours and hours and hours, the reason that you feel so bad after is because, I mean, the dopamine wasn't real. There's way better ways that you can get your brain feeling satisfied, feeling stimulated. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean meaningful work, like actually things that matter to you. The reason that I stopped pursuing YouTube, at least at the beginning of it, was because I was in school and I was taking really difficult classes. Like, I was in organic chemistry, I was in American Sign Language, I was in a biology course, and a math course, so I was just not having a good time. I didn't really have much free time because I basically had to dedicate all my time studying just for chemistry. Why did I stop posting for the entire summer? That is how we actually got to the topic of this video, which is cheap fucking dopamine. Okay, so the second that I got done with my semester, I was like, wow, I feel so relieved, like I finally don't have to worry about chemistry ever again in my life. Now, social media wasn't always as brain-rotted as it is today, but the entire point of it now is to literally keep you on the app as long as possible. Our attention spans are fried, as I've mentioned, so it's very short videos usually, or short posts, but they're enough to get that hit in your brain, like, haha, that was funny, and then you keep scrolling, because you're looking for something else that's gonna light up your brain, basically. There's a few ways to combat the cheap dopamine thing, and I literally just started doing this a few days ago, because I have been stuck in a downward spiral as far as being addicted to, like, scrolling and shit all summer. And I keep telling myself, like, I just need to get off social media, but that's hard for some people, and people, you know, FOMO, they fear missing out on other people's lives. But to be honest with you, most people that I follow on social media, I don't even need to see their lives. Like, I'm sure they're fine. I think it's way more important to focus on where you are now, because I'm looking around, I'm like 21 years old. What the fuck, I don't know, aging happens really fast. I feel like for most of when I was 18 and 19, I wasn't even really focused on my age or where I was at in my life. I was just entirely feeding myself instant dopamine. I don't even have that many, like, memorable things that happened to me because every day was the same. It was games, it was scrolling, it was TV shows. There was no, like, long-term accomplishments or long-term goals that I was pursuing. I didn't really have any ambition to do much. Like, I worked, but it was just to make ends meet, literally. It's just important to keep yourself grounded and look around and say, okay, time is passing quicker than a lot of people realize, and they let days, weeks, months just slip away from them in this dopamine hole. Because you get addicted to it. It is an addiction. It's very common to have escapism because reality of today is a little scary sometimes, and I think for a lot of people it helps ease that anxiety, and that's fine. It's good to have coping mechanisms, right? But at the same time, it's also good to have long-term goals and to have perspective looking from the outside in. There's also a couple important things that a lot of people neglect that are good for your dopamine receptors. So number one, getting enough sleep. I know you haven't heard this a million times before, right? This is like totally new information. Yeah, but the problem is if you don't take the information and use it, you know, nothing's gonna change. So either you have the discipline and you go to bed early enough. If you have trouble sleeping, you know, there's remedies for that. So you take all the precautions, give yourself extra time to lay down, no screens before bedtime if that's what you need. I personally can sleep anytime, and I'm very sorry if that's not, like, possible for you guys, but there are ways to help with that. And number two, getting exercise, daily exercise. And this one's like, some people are like, oh my god, like, that's controversial. It's really not. Yeah, it's really not. So we humans are living in a time where there are so many stationary jobs like never before. If you go back 100 years, the amount of stationary jobs, I guarantee you, would be like less than 5% of them, because everything was physical. We have to go do things physically. Even if it's like to do with sending information, there has to be a mail person. You can't just email. Writing documents, you can't do that from home. You have to go into the office and have all the supplies. Like, I don't know. Everything now is digitized. And what people don't realize is that 100 years ago, they were getting exercise daily just by being at their job, like genuinely. And that's what kept people healthy. Now, it's like you actually have to set aside time out of your day to move your body to make it feel good. You know, I mean, movement is just good for your body in every sense. Obviously, doctors will tell you this. Anytime you have a health problem, like, you need to, you know, have the right foods, like the right nutrition, and the right exercise, like daily exercise. And they know this because they're professionals. They went to school for this for a very long time and took extremely hard tests just to get their certification. So I think it's important that we listen to professionals, especially when it comes to health. I think sleep is easier than exercise, but setting aside like 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, just going on a 10-minute walk, starting with something, taking a step in the right direction is better than nothing. And like, just show up for yourself, you know what I mean? Like, 20 minutes a day, show up for yourself, and you will feel better. The main thing about exercise is that it's not instant dopamine, it's the other kind, it's the better kind. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm about to read you all something from berkeley.edu. Around the world, people who are physically active are happier and more satisfied with their lives. They have a stronger sense of purpose and experience more gratitude, love, and hope. They feel more connected to their communities and are less likely to suffer from loneliness or become depressed. It also says that, quote, over time, regular exercise remodels the reward system, leading to higher circulating levels of dopamine, like overall, and more available dopamine receptors. In this way, exercise can both relieve depression and expand your capacity for joy. There is something quite different about getting dopamine from doing something that you truly love, like a hobby, a passion, anything that really matters to you, whether that's even just spending time with your loved ones. Like, there's something so different about that kind of dopamine than the kind where you sit there on your phone looking for something to fill the void. And it never does. Spoiler alert, guys, I know if you've been scrolling for years, if you grew up on the internet like me, I was born in 2003, it's not doing it anymore for a lot of us. Some people are still okay with it, and power to you. Obviously, I don't think those kinds of people are going to be watching this video, but look, our generation has a problem. And they designed these machines, these devices we use, to be a problem for us. They don't want us to have long attention spans. They don't want us to be involved in what's actually happening around us. They want us to scroll and scroll and scroll and be brainless working robots. And that's it. That's all they want from us. But if you guys are here, I'm assuming that is not what you want, and that's not what I want either, and that's why I'm here talking about it. This is a problem that humans before us have not experienced. Now, for people like me, my age, we grew up with this like exploding around us, the technology boom, right? Like, again, I was born in 2003, I'm 21 years old right now. Some of you might still be 20, either way. Our whole life, it has been exploding with technology around us. But what we fail to remember sometimes, because we were still developing and growing, is that this is the first time this has ever happened. And all of this started existing within like the past 20 years. Like the internet, I mean, I think it's more like 30 at this point, give or take, but it was a slow start, and then the ball just like started rolling fast as hell down a hill. And it never stopped so far. People before us didn't have to detox their brain from this instant gratification. If you went back 40 years ago, you couldn't just sit down in front of a screen and mindlessly scroll forever, and it would show you more and more stuff that it thinks you'll like, that it thinks will keep you on the app, that it thinks will keep you engaged, wasting your time, your precious time. That was not a thing. So people back then had to have hobbies. I think it's important to also remember the impact of TikTok on all of this. You might be rolling your eyes like, oh, whatever, but listen, guys. Facebook, Instagram, and even Snapchat were not nearly as mind-numbing or addictive as they are now before the advent of TikTok, because that introduced the endless scroll, short videos, grab your attention like that and just hold it, and it never ends. It makes it way less work for your brain to just scroll and just listen and watch. You don't even have to read anything most of the time. So then, after TikTok started that, Instagram took it, Snapchat took it, Facebook Meta, whatever, took it. And they all are the same now. They all have the reels. They all have that page where you can stay forever at seemingly no cost to you. But really, it's a personal cost. It's a loss of time. Like I just said, if you're like me and you grew up with this, you're still young. Okay, look around, guys. Everyone look around the room. We're not teenagers anymore, but we're still young. Like, we're 20, 21, 22. If you're Gen Z, I mean, I don't know how far Gen Z goes, sorry. If you're like earlier Gen Z, you're in your early 20s, okay? Your life is just getting started. And guess what, guys? This is the point in our lives where we're supposed to actually be doing something. I know that's crazy because it's so tempting to just scroll forever and keep your mind numb forever and keep hitting those dopamine receptors, but I'm telling you, it will catch up to you. Whether that be through your health, whether that be through your mental health. Like I said, if you're scrolling forever, your mental probably is not good, because do you make time for yourself? Do you make time to brush your teeth? Do you brush your hair? Do you eat nutritious meals that are good for you and fuel your body? Do you move your body? Do you have a clean room? Do you keep your space tidy for yourself? Your pets, do you spend time with them? Do you feed and water them on the consistent basis they need? If your answer no to these questions, it's clear you have a problem. And I had this problem before, but I don't anymore, and that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because I'm telling you, it's very, very possible and very, very easy to break this addiction. To put it simply, if you are prioritizing the screen in your hands and all of these random people on your timeline over your own well-being, over your own self-care, do you not want to, like, customize your avatar and take good care of them? Do you guys play The Sims? I don't play The Sims. My roommate does. Do you really just want to let all your bars, like, go down to zero? Like, you want to be in bad health. You want to be depressed. You want to be laying in your bed all day. You want to be doing what exactly? Why not take care of yourself? Like, love yourself, you know? And part of loving yourself is prioritizing your well-being, especially over cheap dopamine sources like this. I'm about to butcher this man's name, and I am so sorry, sir. But Josh Zuba? C-Z-U-B-A. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I do apologize. I watched a video of his the other day, I'd say about a couple weeks ago, and it was called I Just Need to Lock In. Guys, that is actually what inspired my YouTube return. It was so well thought out, so eloquently spoken. I loved every word of it. I highly recommend you guys watch it. It's such a myth that you can just switch your whole life around in one day and stick to it. That's not how it works. Your body is built for comfort. Your body wants to be comfortable as possible. And this is one of the most comfortable periods of time to be living in ever in human history, okay? So, scrolling feels comfortable. Laying there feels comfortable. You know what doesn't feel comfortable? The health problems that come with that down the road. Okay? That's one. Now, because your body is built for comfort, you can't do a complete 180 and say, yeah, I'm going to start working out 7 days a week, 2 hours a day. I'm going to eat organic. I'm going to start cooking every single day. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to never scroll again in my life. That's not how it works. You need to make small changes. That was the main thing I took away from his video. Tiny increments that feel like forward change. And he was so right. I don't even know what else to say, guys. Like, because this whole summer I've been saying, yeah, I'll make a YouTube video, I'll make another one, and I kept just scrolling and numbing and escaping and working and overloading my brain, because that's what was comfortable, unfortunately, because I was so overloaded during the school year and I didn't take responsibility for that. I mean, my school year is about to start again in like 3 weeks, and I'm very excited, actually. Because I'm taking songwriting and I'm taking music production. My point is that instant gratification at the end of the day will leave you feeling empty. Think about like a year from today. Where do you want to be? People literally will scroll their life away. I'm sure you've seen it in the older generation. No offense to any of the older generation that's watching this, but some of them literally have scrolled their life away. And it's crazy because they didn't have it when they were our age, but now that they're older, it's like they just don't care anymore. We can't afford to not care unless we want to end up unhappy with our lives. Because doing that, scrolling, making the bad habit to ignore your own personal needs, it will carry with you forever if you don't stop it right now. Like, literally. Something that's helped me is being on my phone less. And it is very hard at first. I mean, with every moment that you think your brain is, like, understimulated, if you're addicted to it, you will find yourself reaching for your phone. Like, reaching for that gratification because you're like, oh, I don't like that I'm just sitting here and nothing's happening. Once you take time to build better habits for your longevity and your happiness, it's a game changer, guys. So one of my long-term goals is that by the end of this year, I would like to release a song. Very scary, but I'm not going to let the fear stop me because it's something I love. And once I take these classes, I just know that's something that I'm going to want to do, regardless of how it's received by anyone else. I just want to put it out there. Because that's a big part of taking care of yourself, is like channeling your emotions somewhere. It doesn't have to be in a song. It doesn't have to be out to the public. You can just get a diary. Write about how you feel in your diary. You don't even have to do it every day. Just like when you feel emotionally overwhelmed, you guys have a notes app. You don't even have to buy a diary. But for me, I think music is awesome. And so that's one of my goals for the end of this year. I would also like to, currently I work out about 20 minutes a day. I would like to overload that and get up to 30 to 45, I'd say 45 minutes a day. I also would like to get straight A's in my classes because I did last semester. Just kidding, I got a B. But I got a grant because of it towards my education. I was like, wow, I can't fumble anymore, guys. I gotta like actually hold the ball and keep it. So I'm gonna do that. And that is 3 of my main goals. 1 towards my education, 1 towards my wellness, 1 towards my passion. It's something I really look forward to when I wake up every day. I'm like, wow. Basically, instant dopamine does nothing for you. Wake up. It's your life. If you let it pass you and in like 5 years you're like, damn, I like wasted my youngest year, I'm gonna look at you and be like, haha. We have to wake up now. There's like no other time. I'm sorry. If you wait any longer, I don't know. I can't imagine if I hadn't broken out of it. Like, I feel so much better now every day. And I genuinely look forward to waking up, which is something that I didn't really have before. Like, I could sleep forever. Granted, I can still sleep a lot, but like, I actually want to wake up in the morning, and it's just been so relieving. Like, as someone who's struggled with depression basically my whole life, changing the way that my brain receives dopamine to that delayed gratification, like, you should really look into delayed gratification, has been so good for me. And I just hope that you could take something from this video. I know I'm just sitting here rambling. I'm a person just like you. I have a job. I go to school. I pay my bills. And I do this in my free time sometimes because it's something I really enjoy. And some people are going to judge me, and some people are going to say I don't know what I'm talking about, and guess what? You're so entitled to that opinion. And I could not care less. Keep having it. Because whoever this is meant for, you're going to see it, and you're going to take in the information. And if this doesn't all resonate with you, leave what doesn't. I don't care. It's fine. We're all different. We all have very different human experiences that are unique entirely to us. So, I hope this helped. Thank you for watching. Do you guys like my room? It's a lot smaller than it used to be, but I have to say I love it. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.